Test, test. really hard on the button.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for being here. Nope.
When do you hit this?
Down until it turns green, and then it'll be
Before we start, just so everybody understands what's happening, on June 30th, the year ends, and it's the start of a new school year on July 1st. On July 1st, we are in transition with the board. So currently, we are going to vote in officially our two new board members. Our two current members who are no longer seated, of course, are not here. As a result, there's currently no board leadership. There's no hierarchy, no president, no vice presidents. So all of that will be taken care of tonight. So we're going to start the meeting in a few seconds, but our board clerk takes over the role of board president until all of those are done. So that's why you get to see different people speaking tonight, okay? Welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Reynolds. Good evening and welcome, everyone. I'd like to call this annual organizational meeting to order. As Dr. Reynolds said, I am the district clerk, and I'm acting as the clerk pro tem until we elect a president of the Board of Education. May we all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ms. Sabri, will you please call the roll?
Gwen Clayton Fernandez. William Iannuzzi.
Here.
Makeda Lewis.
Here.
Roshani Rose. Sam Single. Don Vega.
Here.
Valerie D. Williams.
Present.
The quorum is present.
Thank you, Ms. Sabri. Our first order of business will be administering the oath of office to our newly elected board member, Ms. Ilana Jacob. Ms. Jacob will be sworn in by her husband, Mr. Josh Rear. Would you please both go down to the podium?
I, Ilana Jacob,
Do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office
of member of the Board of Education
of member of the Board of Education
of the City School District of the City of New Rochelle
of the City School District of the City of New Rochelle
for the term commencing on July 1st, 2025,
for the term commencing on July 1st, 2025,
and ending on July 30th, 2030.
and ending on July 30th, June 30th, 2030,
Sorry, June 30th, 2030. According to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
And Ms. Jacob, will you please just sign the book that Rolanda has right there? It becomes part of the district record. No.
And then Alana, if you want to say a few words at the podium, up to you. Or if you want to sit down and say words, up to you. Up to you.
The microphone on? Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to thank the City of New Rochelle, the voters, this community, and my new board members, and the superintendent and his team. I'm very excited for this opportunity, and I'm looking forward to and humbled by the opportunity to serve this city.
Congratulations, Ms. Jacobs. Our next order of business is to administer the oath of office to our newly elected Board of Education member, Ms. Jessica Klein. Ms. Klein will be sworn in by the Honorable Judge Michelle Bernstein. If you could both please meet at the podium. Oh, thank you. I also brought my own. Can you raise your right hand? Okay.
Repeat after me. I, Jessica Klein,
I, Jessica Klein,
do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office
and I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office
of member of the Board of Education
of member of the Board of Education
of the City School District
of the City School District
of the City of New Rochelle
of the City of New Rochelle
for the term commencing on July 1st, 2025,
for the term commencing on July 1st, 2025,
and ending on June 30th, 2030,
and ending on June 30th, 2030,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
No, you don't need to sign that.
Would you like to say a few words?
I just want to thank everyone for being here, who came out, for being sworn in by my friend, which is very exciting, and thanking everybody for entrusting me to do this. I'm very excited. I'm very nervous. I'm very humbled, and looking forward to the next 5 years. I'm already blown away from the meetings I had in the last week. It's such an honor. So thank you all.
Okay, congratulations, Ms. Klein. I'd like to now call a motion and a second to suspend policy 1320. Can I have a motion?
So moved, Dianuzzi?
Second, Lewis. Okay, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Our next order of business will be the nomination and election of the President of Board of Education. At this time, I'd like to announce that nominations are open for presidency. Are there any nominations?
I nominate Will Iannuzzi for president.
Second, Clayton Fernandez.
Are there any nominations? Any other nominations? Okay, can I have a first and a second, please?
Second, Quentin Clayton Fernandez.
Want to do it again?
Oh, all.
Wait, one second.
A motion to accept Will Iannuzzi as president.
So moved, Gwen Clayton Fernandez. Second.
Okay, we're going to do a roll call vote. Ms. Sabri?
Gwen Clayton Fernandez,
No, you say
Yes.
Yes.
William Iannuzzi,
Yes.
Makeda Lewis,
Yes.
Roshani Ross, Sam Single, Don Vega,
Yes.
Valerie D. Williams,
Yes.
Elena Jacob. Yes. Jessica Klein.
Yes.
Okay, it's unanimous. Congratulations, Mr. Iannuzzi. So, Mr. Iannuzzi will meet me at the podium and we will swear in his oath of office for president.
I, William Iannuzzi, do solemnly affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of office of President of the Board of Education of the City School District of the City of New Rochelle for the 2025-2026 school year according to the best of my abilities. Thank you.
At this time, I will step down and Mr. Iannuzzi will take over the meeting.
Is Rashani here?
Thank you, Madam Clerk, for chairing the beginning of the meeting, and I want to thank my colleagues for entrusting me in another year in the leadership position. I'm going to keep my remarks short and sweet, and we're going to move on with the agenda. So next up on the agenda is the nomination and election for the first vice president position of the Board of Education. At this time, nominations are open. Would anyone like to nominate a board member for the first vice president position?
Yes, I would like to nominate Makita Lewis for the first vice president position.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. Are there any other nominations? Any other nominations? Seeing none, nominations are completed. So I need a motion and a second to approve Ms. Lewis as the first vice president. Do I have a motion and a second?
I make a motion that we accept the nomination.
Seconded, Vega.
Thank you. I will now call a roll call vote. Ms. Gwen Clayton Fernandez,
Yes.
Ms. Alana Jacob,
Yes.
Mr. Don Vega,
Yes.
Ms. Makita Lewis,
Yes.
Mr. Iannuzzi, yes, Ms. Williams,
Yes.
and Ms. Klein.
Yes.
It is unanimous. Ms. Lewis, congratulations. Oh, I have to meet her. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Makita Lewis,
I'm Peter Lewis.
do solemnly affirm
Do solemnly affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office of
the duties of the office of
Vice President
Vice President
of the Board of Education
of the Board of Education
of the City School District
of the City School District
of the City of New Rochelle
of the City of New Rochelle
for the 2025-2026 school year,
for the 2025-2026 school year,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Oh, I see.
Ms. Lewis, would you like to make any remarks?
Thank you to my colleagues for entrusting me for a second year. Thank you for my leadership team from last year for preparing me for this role. I look forward to working with you all for one more year. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, we are now moving on to the nomination and election of the second vice president position of the Board of Education. So as of this time, nominations are now open for the second vice president position of the Board of Education. Are there any nominations?
I would like to nominate Ms. Roshni Ross.
Thank you, Ms. Lewis. Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Seeing none, the nomination period is now closed. Colleagues, can I get a motion and second to elect Roshni Ross as the second vice president of the Board of Education?
So move, Vega.
Oh, no, somebody else
Second
already-
Williams.
Okay.
This is now a roll call vote, and I apologize. I probably should have had the Madam Clerk run the roll call before. I was a little, little overzealous. So, Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Ms. Clayton Fernandez,
Yes.
Mr. Iannuzzi,
Yes.
Ms. Lewis,
Yes.
Mr. Single, Mr. Vega,
Yes.
Ms. Williams,
Yes.
sorry, Ms. Jacob,
Yes.
Ms. Klein.
Yes.
Unanimous consent. We now have a second vice president. Ms. Ross is not here tonight. She is out of the country, but we will be swearing her in at the next meeting at the end of July. Okay, colleagues, so we are now going to move into the main part of the meeting. And the first item of the agenda is accepting minutes from our past meetings. So colleagues, can I get a motion and a second to accept minutes of the Board of Education regular meeting held on May 6, 2025, and the Committee of the Whole session held on May 21st, 2025, and accept minutes of the special meeting held on June 3rd, 2025, and accept meetings of the special meeting held on June 17th, 2025, and accept minutes of the special meeting held on June 26, 2025, as submitted by the clerk and secretary to the Board of Education.
So moved, Lewis.
Second, Clayton Fernandez.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next up on the agenda is the Board of Education announcements. Do any of my colleagues have any announcements they would like to make tonight? Yep, Ms.
Yes.
Williams?
Good evening, New Rochelle, and welcome to our new board members. I am excited for this great year. I had the opportunity to attend 2 moving up ceremonies. One was the Albert Leonard Award Ceremony. I had the opportunity to sit on stage next to the daughter of past board member Mary Jane Reddington. Mrs. Reddington, she was a past president, vice president, and board trustee. She was on the board for 30 years, and she was an English teacher at Albert Leonard Junior High School then for 20 years. And she's keeping the legacy of caring for New Rochelle alive because her family, they have an award that they give every year, and this was the 3rd year that they have given the award. I had the opportunity to be on the stage with Principal Dr. Camille Edwards Thomas, and of course, our scholars. And our New Rochelle students are doing great works in scholarship, athletics, arts, and civic engagement. They make the world a better place. I had the opportunity to sit with our students and also with our educators. We are in a good place, New Rochelle. And on June the 25th, I had the opportunity to attend the New Rochelle High School graduation with Board President Iannuzzi, Vice Presidents Lewis and Berrios Brooks, and former Board Trustee Katie Castellano Minaya, along with our superintendent, Dr. Corey Reynolds, the high school principal, Dr. Achilles, and other esteemed educators, and of course, our graduates. I am excited for the graduates because I know that a New Rochelle education prepares you to participate and compete in a multicultural global economy. And I know that our students have what it takes to tread water and to succeed. You may stumble, you may fall, but you can come back from it all. The city school district of New Rochelle is your home. It's a part of your life's journey, and you will continue to do great works. Congratulations, class of 2025.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. Do any other of my colleagues have any remarks they would like to make?
Just very quickly about the high school graduation, it was absolutely my honor to be able to attend and sit next to my colleagues and see all of our graduates. So congratulations to our class, congratulations to our parents. I do want to thank the other community members for entrusting us on moving inside. I know we were well into the 80s that day, and so I'm hoping that the AC was well received. And so thank you for taking that risk with us as we move forward.
Thank you, Ms. Lewis. I just also want to congratulate Ms. Jacob and Ms. Klein for being elected and being sworn in today. Myself, Vice President Lewis, former Vice President Brooks, and our two new members had the chance to have a orientation a couple weeks ago, and we went over a binder that was probably over 1,000 pages. So we gave them a lot of homework to do, but we're excited for you guys to be here and looking forward to our partnership on the board. And I just want to echo Ms. Lewis and Ms. Williams about being at the graduation. I had the chance to attend the Isaac graduation in the morning and the high school in the afternoon. And I shook every single graduate's hand from both graduations. So I shook over 1,000 hands. And if you saw me on camera, I kept on wiping my hand down because it was getting very sweaty, a lot of sweaty hands. So, but we had hand sanitizer, which was good. Do anybody else have any Board of Ed announcements to make? Oh, yeah, sorry. Thank you, Ms. Bonilla. I do want to thank the Green Schools Committee for getting each board member a very nice reusable water bottle. We are in the process of moving away from our box bottles. We got rid of our plastic. Now we're getting rid of our box, and we're going to be starting using these moving forward, colleagues. So we did ask our clerk if we can put a water bottle filling station in her office. So during the meetings, we can go there and fill the water bottles up. Thank you, and thank you, Mia and Keith and the Green Schools Committee for that. All right, seeing no more announcements, I will move into the next portion of the agenda, which is the superintendent's update. So Dr. Reynolds, I'll throw it over to you.
Thank you very much, President Iannuzzi, through the board members, to the community, to our community who may be at home watching us or who may be watching us at a later date. I bring you greetings and I wish you a happy new year. Firstly and foremost, I would like to congratulate our two new board members on signing their lives away for the next 5 years. I say that, lightheartedly, but I want to be the first to thank your families for sharing them with us in the name of what's good for New Rochelle and what's good for our children. Thank you very much. In advance, get used to the dinners that you're going to have on Tuesdays and Thursday nights. That might be a little bit repetitive, but for the next 5 years, I look forward to doing fantastic and great work with you. And mentioning great work, and since Trustee Williams brought up our high school graduation, I was going to wait until our July 22nd meeting to discuss our graduation, but I am now, I feel a little bit excited, so I would like to share with you some details for those of you who may not know. Last week, Wednesday, we celebrated the 127th commencement ceremony for New Rochelle High School. We have changed tradition a little bit in the name of safety and security for our students, our faculty members, and our guests. And we did move our ceremony indoors to what I've been told is enemy territory in White Plains. But we did take it to the Westchester County Center. And thankfully, the weather worked to our behalf. What I would like to share with you, though, is we celebrated 608 seniors who walked that stage that day. And just to give you a few highlights of our 608 seniors, 5 students were named National Merit Scholarship Program finalists. 5 graduates are headed to Ivy League schools, 4 of them to Cornell, and 1 to UPenn. 14 students will study at highly selective schools, including Amherst, Barnard, Boston College, Georgetown, Georgia Institute of Technology, Howard, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, NYU, Northwestern, Purdue, University of Michigan, and Wesleyan. 3 students will study abroad. 8 students will enter careers and trades right after high school graduation. 9 students are joining the military in the Army and in the Marines. 38 graduates are heading straight to the workforce to begin their careers, and 490 of our students will attend college in September. Among the schools are the ones that have been mentioned prior. 212 students are graduating get this, with GPAs of 3.75 or higher. 42 of our graduates are receiving honors diplomas. Students were collectively awarded just under $146,000 in scholarships just from the departments in the high school. So that number may sound low to the public, and I want you to understand what this really means. These are scholarships that are granted by local business people, by our specific departments of education within our school system. So these are collected by teachers, by administrators. That's where these funds come from. But our students have earned over almost $146,000 in that type of funding. So we have a lot to celebrate. We are excited at the way that our school district is moving. And I will tell you, and I'll probably be the first to say it publicly. There's this clamor of the New Rochelle of old. There's this clamor of our schools don't compare to where we were in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. I'm going to agree with you. Our schools and our offerings and the opportunities for our students far surpass where we were in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. As a matter of fact, we have many of our towns that are jealous of our course offerings. And they are now asking to partner with us and allow their students to come to our schools on a tuition basis in order to participate in some of the courses and the advanced courses that we're offering. So I will say that we are on a trajectory for greatness, and we're going to continue on that trajectory. And I just want to end with the congratulations to all of our graduates from New Rochelle High School. And with that, President Iannuzzi, I relinquish the microphone.
Thank you very much, Dr. Reynolds. So the next item on the agenda is our discussion items. We have 5 for tonight. The first 4, due to this being our reorganizational meeting, 4 of them are required by education law to review here at the meeting. So Dr. Reynolds, can I ask you and your team to set the stage for us and present these policies to us or these discussion items if there's any changes to some of these things?
In the interest of time, I will not move to the podium. I have had conversations with my 4 assistant superintendents who embody the superintendent's cabinet. We have not made any significant changes to any of our policies. There are some slight changes, and I am going to ask in order, I'm going to ask Dr. Joyner to please give us commentary on policy 8, on the annual review of the code of conduct. Can you please just detail the one change that was made?
Absolutely. Excuse me. The only change that was made on the code of conduct for this year, we removed the date from the bottom, so it no longer says 24-25. There's no date. So we had it reprinted. We removed the date. That was the only change.
That was very significant.
Moving on with the indulgence of our board president, our annual review of attendance policy number 5235. Can you please tell the one change?
There were no changes on
Oh, okay.
policy 5235 for this year.
Thank you very much, Doctor. What I would like to do next is to call our Assistant Superintendent for Business and Administration up, Mr. Carlos Leal.
Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Leal. Tonight we're discussing any changes relevant to policy number 6240, investments, and policy number 6700, purchasing. Have there been any significant changes to any of those policies for this year?
No significant changes, no, sir.
Great, thank you very much, Mr. Leal. So, Mr. President, that is our conversation in totality about
Thank you.
those 4 policies.
Do any of my colleagues have any questions on any of those policies or the code of conduct? Okay, seeing none, if you do, if you want to reread it in the future, just send an email to myself and the superintendent, and we can answer any questions for you guys. The next item for discussion is our 2025-2026 committees and liaisons. So in colleagues in your folder, there is a list of all of the committees that exist and what dates they meet and times. So tonight, we have the opportunity to have a discussion to see which board member would like to sit on which committee or to be the liaison to specific committees. We're not voting on anything tonight. That will be our second meeting in July, where after everyone had the opportunity to look and see, we will then vote on the compositions of these committees. I also have 2 committees I would like to bring to the board as for potential consideration. So why don't we go through the existing committees first, and then see if anyone's interested, and then I will mention the two considerations. And if any other board member has any considerations as well for a committee, please feel free at that time. The first committee is a district-led committee. It's the Protect Committee, the Protect Team, which used to be the SAVE Committee, the Safe Schools Against Violence and Education Committee. This is a committee led by the administration and the Director of Security and the Assistant Superintendent for Business. So they meet the first Thursday of the month at 10 a.m. here in person at City Hall. I have served on this committee for the past 2 years, and it's really great committee to learn about the safety and security of the district, what the district is doing to ensure the safety of our students. So would any of my colleagues be interested in that committee at this time? If not, we can always send me an email or call me later and to ask more questions about it. But if anyone has any questions now, I'll go through them all first and then. The second committee is the Rescue Committee, which is the Health and Safety Committee. And this is a district-led committee. It's composed of school district officials, parents, teachers, and staff. And they assist in the investigation and disposition of health and safety-related complaints, including facility, indoor air quality, pest management, construction issues, etc. The committee is led by Mr. Billy Coleman, who works for the district, and Isaac Young. And Mr. Keith Watkins is the district liaison for that committee. I have also served on this committee for the past year, so they meet on Wednesdays, one Wednesday each month at 2 o'clock, sometimes on Zoom, usually in person here at City Hall. The next committee is a board-led committee, which is the Policy Committee, and it's created to assist the board in identifying, evaluating, and monitoring board policies related to the internal Board of Education procedures and operations and bylaws. This is an amazing committee. I served as chair, co-chair with Ms. Williams, and many years ago. And it's a great committee if you're learning and want to learn about policies and what the district does. So our policy book is a little outdated. So this year we do actually have a good project where we are working with NISBA to come in and go through our policy books to ensure that we're in compliance and see which policies are duplicative. So that's a great project this year that we are working on. The next committee is the Green Schools Committee. This is a district-led committee led by Mia Bowdry and Keith Watkins and Ms. Nieves, who's the principal of Jefferson. So this committee deals with district facilities to ensure environmental sustainability, managing resources efficiently and economically, and be a safe place for our children and staff to learn. I've served on this committee with Ms. Clayton and Ms. Lewis this past year, so I know they were always looking for more board members to join. And they are on Wednesdays, one Wednesday a month at 4 p.m., either at New Rochelle High School or on Zoom. The next one is the BOCES liaison. I'm gonna actually, we're gonna scratch that out because that has not been in operation for about 2 years, so we can ignore that liaison position. The next one is the Westchester Putnam School Boards Association liaison. So this is a great position as well, where you would represent our Board of Education at the board meetings for the Westchester Putnam School Boards Association. I know Ms. Lewis has served in this position for the past year. Ms. Brooks, our former vice president, she served for many years and was actually on the board of directors for West Put. So that's a great position to learn and meet new other Board of Ed members at other districts across Westchester and Putnam. Our last one is the Finance Committee. So that is a new committee that we started last year. Myself, Ms. Ross, and Mr. Single have served on that committee. And it's a great committee to oversee both short-term and long-term budget planning and implementation and reviewing monthly treasury reports. And that is with our business officials, Mr. Leal, Ms. Mike, and that was usually on Zoom Fridays at 8:30. And the board-led committees, we have the opportunity to change the time and days. The district ones are usually set in stone. Two committees I wanted to bring to the board's attention for potential consideration. One is a board operating procedures committee of some sort. So our board operating procedures were adopted in 2017, so they are over 8 years old. And every year when we have a Board of Ed retreat, we usually get an updated guide from NISBA. So I think it's time that we spend some time to reviewing our current board operating procedures and updating it. So that's a potential ad hoc committee that I'm asking the board to consider, so we can have a working group to actually review the board operating procedures and review them and update them. And the second is a special education committee of some sort where, um, usually the board receives due process complaints and we review them in our executive sessions, and it takes a lot of time. So I'm seeing if the board would like to consider reviewing cases beforehand with a small committee of board members before they come to executive session, where then they would already have a recommendation for the full board to consider. And they would also keep track of all the due process complaints we are getting throughout the year. So those are two potential board committees to consider. So I'll open the floor to any of my colleagues. If you're interested in any committees, if you have any committees you're thinking of, please, this is now the time to speak. Mr. Vega?
Yes, yeah, I'd be interested in the special ed committee.
And I will kick us off as well. And so just to give some more background information for, especially for our new folks, like Will mentioned, I was on the West Put one. I would highly recommend that one. They really do help you, give you a wide range of opportunities to learn about school board service in general. They have so many different topics on what it's like to be a board member and what it takes and all the topics you can think of. So that I would highly recommend. I also had the chance to be on the Green School Committee. It was absolutely fantastic to hear our students give suggestions and show presentations, and they do really keep you in the fold of what's going on our school level. So if you do want to interact with our students and staff, of course, with what's going on at the school level, they're a fantastic group. So I do highly recommend them as well. For the proposal, Will, for the special ed committee, I will say that I'm interested in joining that one. I do want to preface it with that we should be thinking of systems and structures. I'm a systems and structures person, for those that don't know me yet. And so I would be thinking more not just about simply reviewing them, but coming up with how we should go about that process and what that looks like in terms of making it streamlined moving forward for the best betterment of our students. I'm also interested in the finance committee, so you can flag me for that. And I am interested in continuing to chair or looking to chair the policy committee for this upcoming school year. So if anyone is interested in co-chairing, gladly welcomed. But those would be the three for me.
Thank you, Ms. Lewis. Any of my colleagues have any thoughts or Ms. Single?
I'd like to serve on the finance committee again next year.
Thank you.
I'm going to put my name in the hat for the Protect Committee and the Rescue Committee and still hang out with the Green Schools. And I possibly the legislative, since it's, how often is that one? Is that like once a month, or you're not sure?
Ms. Lewis, do you remember? I'm not sure.
That's
No,
okay.
I can get back
But
to
I'm
you.
interested in that because I
Okay.
think that will help all of these deepen our understanding and our language with what we have to do and build, friendships into the unknown for like-minded fun things we do off on the side.
I'll add this special.
And I will say too, for our new folks, again, another plug, but the special ed cases are really an important learning process, I think, in terms of getting to know what the board does. And so if you're interested in the behind the scenes working of it all, then I think that would be also an interesting place to start.
And just, sorry, just point of order is for board-led committees, we can have no more than 4 members, because more than 4 would be a quorum, and that would be an open meeting. So, and same for district-led, so no more than 4 board members on each committee.
Mr. Chair. Just as clarification regarding because I know that we've had few discussions regarding transportation. Could we make that as a possible suggestion for an additional committee, or at least clarify that in the context of the policy committee, if that's going to be part of whether or not it's part of the policy, because I know that's a lot of questions in the community as well.
That makes a lot of sense for policy. Yeah, hold on. Yeah, that would make sense for policy, just because we do have a specific transportation policy. That makes sense. Yeah. I'm sorry, Miss Bonilla.
No, I just wanted to say that I also serve on the policy committee, and for like the new folks, it's actually one of the ones that is not during the school day. So if you do work, it is good because it's later on in the evening. Sometimes it's 4, 4:30, 5 o'clock. We pick depending on what fits for everybody. And it's something good, like Mr. Vega just said about transportation. If there's anything that you feel that you do want to discuss and bring up, you can add them to the policy committee. And we do review policies at every monthly meeting. So it's a good way as well to be involved and informed on like what is affecting the district. So it's a really good committee to be a part of, and also a big need because I believe was Rachel Relkin on it, right? And then you, and so yeah, it's a good one that we would need somebody on.
Ms. Klein?
I'm interested in the Protect Committee, if there's availability. If you create the board operating procedures, is
Okay,
that?
yeah.
And the West Putt liaison? Start with those.
Ms. Williams?
Is it possible to have up to 4 liaisons for West Putt? Or
That
is-
is a good question. What? Yeah, I think it's max 1.
1?
Yeah. 1 or 2. I can double check. I can ask
Okay.
West Putt and find out. Are you
Okay.
interested in that?
I'm interested in that.
I'm gonna put your
But,
name
you know,
down.
also, we can attend the meetings
Yeah.
anyway. Okay, so that's okay. And I would be interested in the board operating procedures and also special education committee.
Hi, I would be interested in the policy committee.
Great.
Felt there was a strong push for that. And I'm looking forward to it if I can join that. And it did sound like a lot. I know there's sort of need to figure out the numbers so we don't exceed quorum, but if there is room, I also would be interested in the special ed committee or the finance committee.
Perfect. And I know Ms. Ross let me know as well that she was interested in continuing in the finance committee. For myself, I am interested in the policy committee as well. That has always been a good one to be on. And would like to join my colleagues in the board operating procedures. Okay, so next steps for this is I will aggregate all this information. I will put them into resolutions. If there is 1 or 2 committees that are overstaffed, I will reach out to every single member to see what we can do. But this was actually very productive, so I want to thank all my colleagues. Does anyone have any last comments or statements they would like to make? Okay, great. Seeing none, we are done with our discussion items and we're moving into public comment. So I'm going to read a quick brief statement and then we will move on to our first person signed up for tonight. So ladies and gentlemen, we are about to convene into the public comment period of the meeting. The Board of Education adopted policy 1230 in April 22 to ensure all members of the public had the opportunity to speak at both of our board meetings each month. We believe it is crucial for us to hear from our community members about their concerns and issues. Having said that, please note that the board is here to listen. The public comment period is not designed to be a discussion. Accordingly, understand the board will not respond to your concerns and questions tonight. We take your concerns and questions seriously and want to have sufficient time to process and research issues if need be. We will, however, respond to your questions and concerns at a future meeting or if the proper staff member get back to you at the appropriate time. I also want to point out that under state and federal privacy laws, we are unable to entertain any comments or questions about school personnel and students. Please know, however, that we take personnel concerns very seriously. On these matters, we would ask you to go through the appropriate administrative channels. Finally, we recognize that right now our nation and our community are polarized on a number of issues. That said, we want our school board meetings to serve as an example to our students that members of our school board and members of our community can deal with controversial issues in a civil manner and demonstrate mutual respect for one another. In that spirit, we will insist that all speakers and members of the audience maintain civility and respect for any divergent views that others possess. We ask that speakers please address their comments to the board directly rather than the audience. In the unlikely event the meeting becomes unruly, the board will recess the meeting and return once order has been restored. Finally, I want to remind everyone that you may submit written comments to the board in lieu of speaking during the public comment period if you so choose. Tonight, we have set aside 45 minutes for public comment, where each speaker who has signed up before 3:30 p.m. today has 3 minutes to speak. If a person requests to speak after 3:30, speakers may sign up in person at the meeting with the clerk and will be afforded the opportunity to speak. We currently have no one signed up for public comment. Would anyone like to sign up for public comment tonight? Yep. Dr. Rosa Ramirez McCutcheon.
Good evening. I'm sorry, I was late for the swearing in. I wanted to be here, but I got my timing wrong. I just want to congratulate and welcome Ilana and Jessica to the Board of Education this year and look forward to the good work that you'll be doing over the next 5 years. As we plan for the coming school year, I want us to consider the different ways that our schools can really lean into building relationships, the educators, the adults in the schools and in our community. And that means everyone, not just the teachers, not just the school leaders, but all of the adults in the building to establish relationships with children. There are a lot of policies that are coming down the pike, particularly the cell phone ban that I know educators are concerned about because they're anticipating that there will be conflicts. And so one of the ways that we can manage some of those conflicts is ensuring that we have relationships. When I know a kid and I say to them, you got to put your phone away or you have to put your phone up in the pocket or whatever, if I know them, there's less likely the chance that there's going to be a conflict. And that's something that I think in general we need to be cognizant of. The other thing is that I had the opportunity to be at the graduation, at the high school graduation, because I had a graduating kid, and I was struck by the size of obviously the graduating class and the number of accomplishments that so many of our graduating kids were able to attain. But I was also struck by how frequently so many of the same kids were the ones that were sort of receiving the same accolades. And so I spent a lot of time thinking about those kids that, you know, made it to graduation by the skin of their teeth, or maybe they did much more than that, but they simply didn't get all of the accolades. They didn't win honors. They didn't win civics awards or anything like that. And so I think I want us to really concentrate and really focus on how do we engage kids in our community who don't necessarily have all of the opportunities or haven't had all of the opportunities to experience, you know, really incredible successes that some of the few of our kids do. And so what are the ways that we can lift that up and celebrate those students so that they don't feel just like their one sort of accomplishment is being able to walk across the stage and get their hand shaken by Will and others. So I just want us to really think about how do we ensure that all of our students have opportunities to be excellent, to be singled out, and to experience all that the district has available to them. Thank you. And again, congratulations.
Thank you. Would anybody else like to sign up for public comment tonight? Okay, seeing none, we are going to move on to our new business consent agenda organizational general resolutions. So colleagues, these are required for our reorganizational meeting. These are all the resolutions that we need to reauthorize each year. So can I get a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda for general resolutions number 26-1 through number 26-52 according to the recommended action for each item?
So move, Lewis.
Second, Williams.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next up is our new business. Hold on. New business consent agenda personnel resolutions. So colleagues, can I get a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda for personnel resolutions number 26-57, 1 through 2, number 26-58, 1 through 26, number 26-59, 1 through 14, and number 26-60, 1 through 19, according to the recommended action for each item.
So move Vega.
Second, Lewis.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next up is our new business consent agenda general resolution. So colleagues, I am going to break this up into 2 votes because the last item on the agenda, I'm pulling out of consent because there will be some board members voting no on this one. So For the first vote, can I get a motion and second to approve the consent agenda for general resolutions number 26-61 through number 26-80, according to the recommended action for each item?
So move, Lewis.
Second, Clayton Fernandez.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. So this last resolution I am going to pull separately. So colleagues, can I get a motion and a second to approve resolution number 26-81?
So move, Lewis.
Seconded Vega.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Opposed.
Any abstentions? Motion carries. And that is the last of our votes. So our next meeting, colleagues, will be Tuesday, July 22nd, starting at 6 p.m. here at City Hall. Tonight, we are adjourning in memory of Adeline Catania, a retired employee at Trinity School who passed away on January 22nd, 2025. Jeannie Phillips, a retired ESL teacher at Columbus School who passed away on April 30th, 2025. Martha Rosenfeld, a retired teacher at New Rochelle High School who passed away on May 2nd, 2025. Glenn Lucas, a retired secondary school plant facility supervisor at New Rochelle High School who passed away on May 18th, 2025. Maxine Weiss, a retired teacher at Columbus School and Isaac E. Young Middle School who passed away on June 4th, 2025. Linda Samuels, a retired nurse at Columbus School who passed away on June 8th, 2025. Anthony Raffa, a retired district-wide plumber who passed away on June 10th, 2025, and Selma Bernstein, a retired teacher at Jefferson Elementary School who passed away on June 19th, 2025. Colleagues, can I get a motion and second to adjourn the meeting?
So moved, Williams.
Seconded Vega.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, everyone. And don't leave. We are having a small little reception outside in honor of Jessica and Alana, congratulating them on their swearing in.
Take a picture. Okay, we do it again with the next one. We can do the next one. Whatever I done. What everybody wants.
The next meeting, everybody do one.
All right. I'm heading out. I love fast meetings. I got to think about the policy committee. Definitely we can get on that. We're going to get on that special ed.
At least 4
My little. Thank you so much. Thank you. I need to be up on the stage and just.
Thank you. How are you?
I got a follow. Yeah, no, we okay, but we're. I don't know if you can come up. Let me ask, okay?
Ilana or Ilana?
Ilana. It's okay. Thank you very much. Thanks for those kind words. So do we leave so much of that that you're
Oh, no, so, those you can either leave here and, but it's better if you bring them home and wash them and bring them back. You just have to kind of remember to bring them.
That's your bottle for the night? Okay. That's fine. Oh my God. Oh my, I realized my bag was not, that was, which one's still? Yeah. I know what happened. My water bottle in my bag. My other water bottle leaves. How's that going? I love it.
You should have seen some of this. I actually saved some of this stuff. I'm gonna show you. It's actually pretty cool. But I was like going through like memory. It's actually going through like a trauma-filled memory. Yeah.
And you like moved. They went through the whole. They went through all. Okay.
I will see you guys. I gotta go to work.
You're allowed for a picture, mommy? Okay. All right, come here, we'll take a picture, okay? Do you guys want to meet superintendent, Dr. Reynolds? No. No? He's a very important man. Yeah. You can introduce yourself. You can tell him where you're going to school.
I'm gonna give you. Oh, Sydney, very nice to meet you.
Where's your seat? Are you in the meeting?
Very nice to meet you. So mommy's gonna say, because she made me school.
If you misbehave, Mr. B would have you tell them. Thank you.